Namaste, welcome to the morning assembly. Today is Friday, April 22nd, 2022. Today is Earth Day. Please get ready for the prayers.
अच्युतं केशवं कृष्णदामोदरं रामनारायणं जानकीवल्लभम् अच्युतं केशवं कृष्णदामोदरम् अच्युतं केशवं कृष्णदामोदरं रामनारायणं जानकीवल्लभम् रामनारायणं जानकीवल्लभम् कौन कहते हैं भगवान आते नहीं कौन कहते हैं भगवान आते नहीं तुम मीरा के जैसे बुलाते नहीं तुम अच्युतं केशवं कृष्णदामोदरम् अच्युतं केशवं कृष्णदामोदरम् रामनारायणं जानकीवल्लभम् रामनारायणं जानकीवल्लभम् सारे सारे ग रे ग प ग रे सा प म प ग प म ग रे ग म ग सा नि सा नि ध नि ध प ध प म प म ग रे नि सा कौन कहते हैं भगवान खाते नहीं कौन कहते हैं भगवान खाते नहीं बैर शबरी के जैसे खिलाते नहीं बैर शबरी के जैसे खिलाते नहीं अच्युतं केशवं कृष्णदामोदरम् अच्युतं केशवं कृष्णदामोदरम् रामनारायणं जानकीवल्लभम् रामनारायणं जानकीवल्लभम् कौन कहते हैं भगवान सोते नहीं कौन कहते हैं भगवान सोते नहीं माँ यशोदा के जैसे सुलाते नहीं माँ यशोदा के जैसे सुलाते नहीं अच्युतं केशवं कृष्णदामोदरम् अच्युतं रामनारायणं जानकीवल्लभम् रामनारायणं जानकीवल्लभम् रामनारायणं जानकीवल्लभम् रामनारायणं जानकीवल्लभम्
We now have a presentation by Priyam, Yug and Jaival from IVDP Year 1. The theme of the presentation is electric vehicles.
My name is Javal Kansagara and I will be talking about the problems of using fossil fuels. What are fossil fuels? Fossil fuels are an energy source that are non-renewable and are formed over a long time from decomposition of organic matter such as plants, animals and bacteria buried in the earth's crust under heat and pressure over millions of years. Three main types of fossil fuels are natural gas, petroleum and coal, and they account for 80% of the world's energy consumption. Fossil fuels are used for various purposes, such as in power generation, they are burned to create heat, which then creates water vapor used to spin a turbine that generates electricity. They are also used in most of the world's vehicles, where they move pistons in a car's engine or heat gas in a plane's engine. They are also used for cooking on gas stoves and campfires. Pros and cons of using fossil fuels. Pros. They are easier to store. Petrol and coal can be stored compared to solar and wind energy or other renewable sources which can't be stored or transported easily. Cheaper. Cheaper to extract as the infrastructure has been developing for a long time, which makes the extraction process cheaper, leading to cheaper rates than renewable energy. More reliable than renewable sources. Renewable energy sources such as solar and wind aren't reliable as they are dependent on the weather conditions. You can't generate electricity from solar on a cloudy day. Same with wind, if there isn't any wind, you can't generate the electricity. Cons. Non-renewable. Fossil fuels are non-renewable as they take millions of years to form. Fossil fuels are pollutants, as giving energy also leads to the production of CO2 and CO as byproducts, which are pollutants. Dangerous. Fossil fuels are highly flammable materials such as petrol and natural gas can combust easily in contact of flame or sparks. They are hard to extract. They need to be extracted from inside the earth's crust and have limited reserves around the world, so can't be found everywhere across the planet, whereas solar can be found everywhere.
Hello, my name is Yug Maradiya and today I am going to tell you about benefits of using electric vehicles.
Let's talk about the benefits and the problems by electric vehicles. Let's look at the pros first. They use renewable energy. People choose to install solar panels at their homes, which create an independent system so their vehicles charge by the sunlight they get on the roof. Electric vehicles are a lot safer than traditional vehicles as they have a low center of gravity and they do not run on combustions. Electric vehicles are economically cheaper than the traditional vehicles. As the fuel price is increasing, the fuel price will be a lot in the future. So electricity is a lot efficient way in which you can drive the cars. It is good for the car, environment and the users itself because it has a low wearantage as it does not require a high gear system and it does not create any pollution and there is no noise pollution or rather less noise pollution created. There are still the cons. It takes very high time to charge. On a fueling station, you can refill the petrol in 5 to 10 minutes, but in terms of electricity, it takes hours to charge fully. Charging stations are not yet available in every corner of the world. As the market is new and growing, every facility is not available in every corner of the world. So the people who like electric cars choose not to buy them because of lack of facilities. Electric vehicles are a bit more expensive to buy and have lower resale values because the batteries and the motors get weighed off. What is the future then? Big car industries like BMW, Mercedes, Audi, Tata Motors, Toyota, and many more are moving towards electric car market as the market is growing. Toyota is targeting to sell more and more hybrid cars since 2013 and now is also planning to sell purely electric cars. Electric planes are also being researched upon, and we hope we will see a green future soon because most of the air pollution and the harmful gases released is by the commercial flights that run throughout the world. They burn tons of fuel every day. What is the prediction? As soon as there will be availability of infrastructure for EVs, there will be steep rise in the market. General Motors says that it will make only electric vehicles by 2035. Ford says all vehicles sold in Europe will be electric by 2030. And Volkswagen says 70% of its sales will be electric by 2030. It's very fast growth, right?
I am Priyam Dobariya and I am going to talk about the trends of EV vehicles.
Growth of the EV market. Global sales of electric cars reached 2.2 million in 2019. A year later, while the demand for conventional cars contracted, sales of electric cars rose to 3 million. The electric vehicle market was valued at 171.26 billion US dollars in 2020 and it is expected to reach a value of $725.14 billion by 2026. Overall, 1.65 million new cars were registered in 2021. Due to the ongoing impact of the pandemic and the global semiconductor chip shortage, there is only 1% increase from 2020. To support electric vehicles, the government has provided publicly accessible electric vehicle chargers. China leads in electrifying vehicles. About 380,000 light commercial electric vehicles are in circulation, often as a part of a company or a public authority vehicle fleet. The bus fleets in a number of city centers in China are near fully or fully electrified and contribute to improve the air quality. About 500,000 electric buses are in circulation, most of which are in China. Although the number of new registrations in 2019 was lower than the previous years due to a gradual subsidy phase out from 2016. The city of Santiago de Chile is home to the largest electric urban bus fleet outside China.
Dev from IBDP Year 1 will now recite a poem, Boy with the Book of Knowledge by Howard Nemerov.
Boy with the Book of Knowledge by Howard Nemerov. He holds a volume open in his hands. Sepia portraits of the Harry Great and the presidents and the poets in their beards are like simplified histories of the wars. Conundrums, quizzes, riddles, games and poems, immortal poems, at least he can't forget them. Barbara Frecci and the Battle Hymn. And best of all, America the Beautiful, whose splendors ended with From Sea to Shining Sea and made him cry and wish to be a poet only to say such things. Could that have where it began? The vast pudding of knowledge with poetry rare scattered through the 12 gold letters of volumes black and green. Mia piety, to think so, but being now as near his death day than his birthday then. He would now acknowledge all he will not know, the silent library brooding through the night, with all its light continuing to burn. A luxury liner on what the sea of ignorance would say, and poetry as steady, still, rare as the lighthouse now unmanned, and used to mark America's dangerous shores. Thank you.
We now have Dhyana from IBDP Year 1 reciting a poem, Finding Your Voice by Amanda Gorman.
I have two questions for you. 1. Whose shoulders do you stand on? And 2. What do you stand for? Most of my life I was particularly terrified of speaking up because I had a speech impediment, which made it difficult for me to pronounce certain letters, sounds, and I felt like I was fine writing on a page. But once I got on stage, I was worried that my words might jumble and stumble. It might feel like every story's been told before, but the truth is, no one has ever told my story the way I would tell it. Poetry is interesting because not everyone is going to become a great poet, but anyone can be, and anyone can enjoy poetry. And it is this openness, this accessibility of poetry that makes it the language of the people. It is this connection that makes poetry, yes, powerful, but also political. One of the things that irritates me to no end is when I get that phone call. And it's usually from a white man, and he's like, Amanda, we love your poetry. We'd love to get you to write a poem about this subject, but don't make it political. Which to me sounds like I have to make a square, but not make it a rectangle, or like build a car and not make it a vehicle. It doesn't make much sense because all art is political. The decision to create, the artistic choice to have a voice, the choice to be heard is the most political act of all. So when somebody asks me to write a poem that's not political, what they're really asking me is to not charge and challenge questions in my poetic work. And the thing about poetry is that it's not really about having the right answers. It's about asking these right questions about what it means to be a writer by doing right by your words and your actions. And my reaction is to pay honor to those shoulders of people who use their pens to roll over boulders so that I might have a mountain of hope on which to stand. So that I might understand the power of telling stories that matter no matter what. So that I might realize that if I choose, not out of fear but out of courage to speak, then there's something unique that my words can become. Thank you.
Hitanshi from IBDP Year 1 is next with a dance performance on a Bollywood mashup.
रूठे ख्वाबों को मना लेंगे, सोई तकदीरें जगा देंगे, कल को अंबर भी झुका देंगे। है जज्बा सुलझा लेंगे उलझे रिश्तों का मांझा, मांझा। ओ पथरीले सीने में उबला सा देखेंगे हम लावा गहरा। लगन लगी टूटे ना जज्बा ये टूटे ना। लगन लगी कल होगा क्या कह दो किसको है परवाह।
धुआं छटा खुला गगन मेरा, नई डगर नया सफर मेरा, जो बन सके तू हम सफर मेरा, नजर मिला जरा। रोशनी
I am Jash and I will be presenting the point to Socho. Today is World Earth Day. What does it mean to us? What are we doing about it today? And more importantly, is it enough to do something just for a day? Should we not be having an Earth Day every day? Talking and thinking about it for a day or two is not good enough anymore. We have to do something about it. Our actions and practice should reflect our concern for the earth and environment. We, students today, in the future, are likely to be affected severely by the damage on earth and the environment if we don't collectively work towards preventing and possibly reversing such damage. There are many things that can be done to have an impact. Consistent efforts is the key. Sustainable fashion, end or reduce plastic pollution, save water, plant trees, manage waste, and many such initiatives can help. Earthday.org is one place where you will be able to find ideas. You can work individually or join and create communities to work on issues that can help prevent damage or on environment and earth. The Earth Day 2022 theme is Invest in Our Planet. How and what will you invest? time, money, ideas, efforts, influence, or anything else that can help make a difference. Think about it. We hope you enjoyed the assembly. Thank you and have a nice day.